Hello, you're here. I'm Roxanne, and this is a When Calls the Heart prediction video. We're going to talk about my second favorite place in Hope Valley, and that is Lucas's office. Stay tuned. Don't forget to click the button and subscribe, and then click the bell and the word all for notifications. Okay. So my first favorite place in Hope Valley is the library, and that's a fairly new place in Hope Valley. It came about in season 6. Now, my second favorite place is Lucas's office, and that was brand new for season 8. And we got 2 wonderful scenes, and I want to break down those scenes just a little bit, and then I want to make some predictions for season 9. So let's talk about the very first time we get to see Lucas's office. I love it because we are seeing it through Elizabeth's eyes. It's the first time she walks in the office. It's the first time we as viewers get to see it. And what I love first is when she's opening that door, there's that frosted window that says private on it. And we are entering the private world of Lucas. All these intimate objects and photographs and pictures and things that he's collected along the way are inside, and Elizabeth is just getting to take a quick tour of it, actually a slow tour, and that camera pans around and sometimes it zeroes in on things, and we get to learn all about Lucas. Lucas is a bit of a mystery, as are many of the characters. I don't say that in a negative way. I'm saying it because we don't always know all of the backstory. We get bits and pieces, but this is our chance to get a huge backstory and to speculate, and you know I love to speculate, and to zero in on who this Lucas Bichard is. So Elizabeth is looking around at the office because Lucas is on the phone, and he's a bit frustrated, and he's speaking in French. And here's something that some viewers thought was like a bad negative thing, like he was being sneaky, but he was not. There was actually a cute connection because he turns around, well, he doesn't turn around. He says to her, puts the phone down, "Pardon my French." And then he tells her, you know, he's trying to do something nice for his parents, which speaks volumes of him, but we'll talk about that in a second. And she smiles, that cute little smile, and she says, "I understand." And she's saying 2 things. She understands what he's trying to do for his parents, and of course that makes a smile on her face, but she also understands French. And he gets this cute smile on his face, so now they have another connection. I don't know that we knew that Elizabeth knows how to speak French, but now we do. Now, let's talk about what he's trying to do for his parents. He's trying to, you know, reunite his parents. He's trying to help them along in their marriage, do something sweet. And this is a nod from Union City when Lucas and Elizabeth had their first intimate dinner together, and he talks about his parents. This is how Lucas knows about love. This is what he compares relationships to, what he thought his parents had. And it's important because he is trying to support them. It means so much to him, which says to us, this is a man who is willing to work for something that he wants. And that's a good thing. If he wants a relationship with Elizabeth, if there's a bump in the road, which there's going to be, he's not just going to bail out. He is really going to work for it. So I love this. So now the next thing I love about this scene is when she is going to leave and she speaks back to him in French, and he gets this big look on his face.
Lucas. À tout à l'heure.
And what she's saying in French is that she wants to see him, that she plans on seeing him. But there's that word like want in there, and it means she wants to spend time with him. She's looking forward to it. And of course that lights up his face. And at this point, this is like when they were really starting to make that commitment to each other, which is just yay for me. Okay, now the second scene that takes place in the office is also like the grand scene that many of us love. I am just going to talk about certain pieces, but if you want a really good analysis of it, you should go to the Lucabeth Lounge. They have a podcast. It is up on YouTube. You should subscribe to them and watch their video and their analysis of this scene because it's spot on. It's wonderful. And I will link it in the description description below. If you get lost or you can't find it or you're having difficulty, don't worry. Just ask me in the comments and I will help you out. So this is the scene with the cozy couch. And what I love about this is we have seen how Lucas takes care of Elizabeth. Now we're finally seeing Elizabeth taking care of Lucas. So this scene comes right after the point where Henry collapses and Christopher yells and takes it out on Lucas, and Lucas gets scared. He doesn't realize that Henry is that sick. And so you see him sitting there with like a drink in his hand and that look on his face, and Elizabeth's there to comfort him. So much so that she sits on the couch and he forgot about dinner and she's like, let's stay, let's talk for a while. And she pats the couch. She's telling him to come. And you could see that look, that smoldering. He looks down, that smoldering look that he gets like, oh my goodness, you know, she wants me to sit on the couch. And what I love the most here is that she is so physically charged by his presence that it kind of takes her aback. She's shocked by it. And of course, he knows how physically charged he is around her. And he says in that Chris McNally does this in other movies, that whisper talk. Oh my goodness. It makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up, but that's a different story here. Anyway, he whisper talks to her and he says to her how he wants to be patient and how he appreciates that she's there for him. And she's the one that initiates to take his hand, and they do like this whole little squeeze of each other's hand. And he says, but you know, he's trying to tell her, you got to go because you are, you know, you are like physically challenging me. And the look on her face it speaks volumes, because she's like, oh my goodness, wow. And he's so unaware of how much she is affected by him. He's thinking about how he's affected by her and how he's trying to be a good guy for her. And I'm like, look at him. He stands up, he stretches, and she's over there like, oh my goodness. And when she walks out, she even fans herself. And Gustav, they zero in on his face. And I love it because he knows. He's like, oh, I know romance. And he is just like smiling. And I'm like, yes, yes, I love this. Okay, so now the office has a whole new permanent, hear the word permanent, set in Hope Valley. So it's in the dentist, the family dentist. On the outside it says that, but when you go inside, as Peter shared with us, it's permanent. Okay, so that to me says season 10. They are aiming for a season 10 to continue the story. If they spent this money and time of setting up a permanent office for Lucas. I'm like, woohoo, I love it. Okay, now, what does the office represent? Well, I think we will get quite a few scenes, like I said, of Lucas in the office, but we're going to get serious business. Like I think serious business is going to go down, maybe the beginnings of a showdown. You know, he is a prominent businessman. He is like #1 when it comes to finances because he has 2 successful businesses, and that's something else I wanted to point out. Let me go back to season 7 and let me show you a conversation that happened between Lucas and Carson.
Well, that's easy. Robin Hood.
No, let me word it a little differently. Did you ever picture yourself
Living in a small town, owning a saloon, and a struggling oil business? Never.
But you learned to accept it.
I don't accept things easily. I would say I'm more the master of my own destiny type. But I do like it here.
So in that conversation, he said a struggling oil business. And then at the end of season 8, he has a conversation with, I was going to say Kevin McGarry, but with Nathan, when Nathan tries to come in to talk to him and he's like, you're closing early. And he's like, things have been slow. I do not think things will be slow in season 9. I think that the saloon is going to be booming. There's a new menu out. We have one of the first scenes is of Lucas, and he is, you know, in the saloon, and you can see other people are there. I think that's going to be booming, and I think the oil derrick is going to be booming. I know it is. And we have some shots and scenes about the oil derrick. We just got that the other day. So I think that he's going to have some business meetings, a bit maybe of a showdown kind of thing begins in there. And then I also also think we're going to get some intimate scenes between Elizabeth and Lucas. It's like their private little space, maybe some kissing, and I even think they might get interrupted. So that would be a cute thing. Gustav comes in and they get a little interrupted. But I also think that there's going to be some family time. And if there isn't family time, I really wish that there were. I can imagine, you know, Elizabeth bringing little Jack with her, and they're in that office. They can have dinner together privately or chat. Little Jack can be on the floor playing. And it would be, you know, we see the business Lucas. We see, you know, Lucas, the man, you know, the lover. And then we see Lucas, the dad-to-be. And I think it would be great, and I'm hoping for that. But what we can honestly say, I mean, this is like a no-brainer. We're going to see way more of the office and Lucas in that office. Now, let's talk about some of the things we notice in this permanent office. There is a picture, or a photograph rather, that was not there before. And it looks like it is a couple, someone from their wedding. And I don't think, of course, this is Lucas and Elizabeth. I think it's his parents. And that's cute. That's a nod to, you know, that whole romance and how he feels about romance and marriage. And also, I think that if we don't get to see Helen and the father, what is the father's first name? Does anybody know? Let me know in the comments, because I don't know it. So I think if we don't get to see an actor actually playing them, we will hear about them and we will learn more about them, because it's going to be integral to the relationship of Elizabeth and Lucas. And it's important to Lucas. So we're going to get some more information. Also, there are two, I don't know if they're not photographs, but when we saw the frames in the new set, it looked like white, like paper was over them. Now, if you look on the old set, you will see that these aren't like photographs of anyone. One looked like a diagram to me almost. At first, I thought it was like land specs. And then when I looked at it again, it looked to me like, I don't know, a diagram, an engineering diagram of something. But the other one, that to me almost looks like an airplane, like flying over buildings. I'm not quite sure, because it looks like something spouts up at the top, and like this half circle kind of thing. I don't know. What does that say? Nothing to me. But I'm putting that out there for you. What does it say to you? Why did they turn it around? Is it because they were protecting it? You know, maybe it's delicate and it could fade, and with all the lights and the brightness, that's why it's turned around? Or is it turned around because it's a hint to something that we can't know about? You tell me in the comments below what you think. I've enlarged them. I've looked at them. My family's enlarged them. They've looked at them, whatever. So we've got elevated danger. We're going to see a showdown in that office of some sorts, or the beginning of it. He's going to have some tough conversations. It has to do with business. I predict we're going to see in that office some kissing. I hope it's some good, delicious kissing, like on that cozy couch again. It's still there. And I know that they know we viewers love that. So I'm excited for that. And of course, it's not so much a prediction as a wish. I really want to see little Jack in that room, in that office with them, especially if it's more like a family scene, maybe them sharing an intimate meal. I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm just saying this is what I predict, and it's also what I wish for. Okay, you have a good one. Tune in Sunday night. I have Nate Pelletier. We're going to talk about those gorgeous cars, Lucas's car, Henry's car, that truck we saw Fiona driving, and if they have to take lessons in order to operate those vehicles, and all the good stuff that goes with it. And that's tomorrow at 8. All right, thank you for tuning in. Have a good one.